Now at 9, MoKan Dragway holds a fun drag race to kick off the racing year. Plus, Pittsburgh State's Alpha Sigma Alpha Eta Eta chapter prepared meals for the Ronald McDonald House in Joplin. Flutes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. MoKan Dragway is taking Sunday Fun Day to a whole nother level. KOAM's Carrie Worthen is at the Dragway to see all the fun.
Ready, set, go to MoKan Dragway to start their 61st year. Opening in 1962, MoKan is the oldest operating drag strip located in Asbury, Missouri. And what better way to start the season by a fun drag?
It's a test and tune type event where anyone's welcome to bring their safe and legal vehicles out or their race cars and see what they'll do on the quarter mile here at MoKan.
Men and women line up to race in trucks, cars, motorcycles, and even SUVs to race down the drag strip to make sure their vehicle is ready for the racing season.
Basically just make sure the car's consistent, make sure nothing really falls apart anyways, and just basically try to cut a good light and beat the guy by a tire. Just try to win, really.
Even though there are no awards given out today, there are still bragging rights.
Oh yeah, I'll rub it in, yeah. If there's one particular kid, for sure, yeah. So, yeah.
For some racers, today is their first day racing, and some have been going to MoKan their whole life.
The track opened in '62, so yeah, they were over here basically every weekend, and I was here in the womb, you know, and so I was born into it.
Whether you are in the stands, watching, or burning rubber on the strip, you can now enjoy the season. In Asbury, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
You can find more information about MoKan on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. 20 members of Pittsburgh State's Alpha Sigma Alpha Eta Eta chapter prepared and served meals for families staying at Ronald McDonald House in Joplin. Other meal donors from around the 4-state area also volunteer to sponsor or prepare meals for families utilizing Ronald McDonald House. Officials say home-cooked meals are one of the most popular services that the charity offers.
Just the satisfaction of just everything we do. I just love how it impacts people, especially in our community, and how I can involve other girls in our group. It's really awesome.
You can become involved with the Ronald McDonald House charities of the 4 states by visiting their website, rmhjoplin.org. The Joplin Native American Flute Circle hosted their latest musical session today. The circle invites musicians of all skill levels and ages out to play in their festivities. The group hosts flute circles every month for the community to participate in.
It has a very soothing sound. When I first started getting into it, I discovered that if I had a bad day at work, came home in a grumpy mood, if I'd pick up a flute and just play for 10 or 15 minutes, the bad mood just fades away. Everything's right with the world again.
The event was held from 4 to 6 p.m. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
And what a beautiful look it was today. Lots of sunshine, a little bit on the breezy side, but temperatures were very pleasant. Radar is clear right now. That's going to change in our forecast, but let's enjoy this evening. Temperatures dropping through the 60s down into the 50s by tomorrow morning with a double nickel for the low. Winds are going to be a factor tonight, and as we go through the day, those are going to start to dissipate. But notice more winds come in behind this cold front around lunchtime, moving through the metro area. Then by evening, those winds will start to slacken up a little bit, and they'll be from a different direction out of the north. Looking down the lane, we're going to have a beautiful Monday with more clouds and warm temperatures. Tuesday, we have some showers, midweek rain, and a colder weekend in the forecast, and I'll tell you all about that coming up in just a little bit.
President Biden took part in a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama today. The event is held every year to mark the anniversary of Bloody Sunday that occurred on March 7, 1965. A group of civil rights marchers were beaten by state troopers as they attempted to cross the span, which is taking on a symbolic role in the history of race relations in the United States. The march played a big role in launching the civil rights movement in the U.S. and also helped bring about an expansion of voting rights. Mr. Biden says all Americans should learn about Bloody Sunday. The House Oversight Committee still has not received bank activity reports for President Biden's family members from the Treasury Department. The panel is now moving forward with a hearing that is scheduled for March 10th. The initial deadline for the reports set by the committee chairman James Comer was January 25th. Comer's committee is investigating the Biden family's foreign business dealings and whether the Bidens involved Joe Biden in any of their dealings or used the family name to generate millions of dollars, which is, in legal terms, peddled influence. Former President Donald Trump tops the CPAC straw poll for the 2024 Republican nomination. Trump winning 62% of the support and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis coming in second with 20%. The results were announced shortly before he took the stage to speak with hundreds gathered in Maryland. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith had the story.
Thank you very much, and I'm thrilled to be back at CPAC with thousands of great and true American patriots.
Now, there were many potential 2024 candidates that chose to sit out CPAC this year, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence. Many of the speakers at CPAC have been focusing on Trump's America First agenda. Among those speaking out, former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin.
We need to go into Democratic areas, and the best way to get Democrat votes is not to act like Democrats, but to explain why we are proud, principled conservatives, and don't pander.
On Friday, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley addressed CPAC, urging her party to embrace younger generations of conservative candidates. She's also in Florida this weekend at a GOP donor event, the Club for Growth fundraiser. Haley is among many other Republicans invited, but not Trump, something she referenced with cameras rolling.
I know there's a Republican candidate out there who you didn't invite to the conference, so I appreciate that you did invite me. Others are dragging their feet on the sidelines, waiting to decide what to do. When it comes to saving America, being decisive matters.
And while CPAC may be ending, the race for 2024, of course, rolls on. You've got multiple candidates heading to battleground states, including both Trump and DeSantis, set to visit Iowa within a matter of days. In National Harbor, Maryland, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Coming up, why taking melatonin before bed may not be recommended by health experts. A third of all U.S. adults say they usually get less than the recommended amount of sleep, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Many turn to melatonin supplements to help, but health experts are saying some things you need to consider before taking them. Reporter Mandy Gaither has more from a sleep specialist on what to know about melatonin.
It's called the sleep hormone. Melatonin helps promote sleepiness in our brains, but for some, sleep doesn't come easy.
Over-the-counter melatonins are products that people are increasingly reaching to.
But before you reach for those melatonin supplements, Dr. Nancy Foldberry-Schaefer, director of the Cleveland Clinic Sleep Disorder Center, says to know what's causing your sleep problems, there could be underlying issues that need to be addressed. She says those pills have proven to be effective for conditions like circadian rhythm disorders, but may not help all sleep issues.
While there's some subjective evidence that melatonin can help people with insomnia, there's much less objective evidence that melatonin works well to treat insomnia.
Because the supplements are offered in a variety of dosages, she says the right one may vary from person to person. And if the supplements are taken to treat a sleep disorder, they also need to be appropriately timed.
People who take melatonin in the middle of the night or take a second dose of melatonin several hours after bedtime will actually see a disturbance in sleep and may actually see that their sleep timing becomes more delayed.
That's why she says it's best to talk to your doctor.
Liquid albuterol has been hard to find lately, and it's about to get even harder. The drug's manufacturer, Acorn, shut down some of its facilities last month after filing for bankruptcy. It's the only company that made a certain bottled form of the medicine, which are used for continuous nebulizer treatment, a staple in children's hospitals. The shortage of albuterol, which is commonly used to treat people with breathing problems, has caused some issues in health facilities nationwide. A study analyzing 20-year data shows fewer Americans are dying from heart attacks. While heart disease is still the leading cause of death in the country, the death rate from heart attacks in 2020 was was 38 per 100,000 compared to 87 per 100,000 20 years prior. The study did not conclude whether the decline was related to less heart attacks or a higher success in diagnostic and treatment strategies. Researchers say racial disparities of heart attacks also narrowed during the 20-year span. Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, self-driving cars are becoming the new normal. We'll hear about some of the concerns from AAA.
What a great weekend we've had across the 4 states with lots of sunshine, warm temperatures, and a little bit on the breezy side today, but not too bad. Let's take a look at the time lapse down in Seneca, Missouri. This morning, you can see that the clouds roll in from the north and west, and then as we go through the afternoon, the clouds kind of started shifting back towards the south and west, and that's ahead of the next storm system that's going to be moving into our area. Beautiful sunset this evening down there, as well as across the entire area. Actually, we weren't that far away from the record high today. 75 was our top out temperature, 47 this morning. 81 was the record, so we were only 6 degrees away from that. Speaking of 6 degrees, that's what it was back in 1960. We are ahead on the rainfall, and that's good because of all the rain that we've had recently. And as a result, most of the streams are in their banks right now. It is near flooding still near Jenkins over there in Berry County. But as we go through the forecast, we're going to see those creeks and streams rise because of the amount of rain that we are expecting. No rain on the radar right now, but that's going to change as we go through time. You can see on the satellite view just some high clouds spilling over our area this afternoon. We have to go all the way out to the west coast to see the next storm system that's now moving onshore off Oregon and Washington. It's going to take its time getting here, but most of tomorrow we'll see that system move onshore, and then it will arrive by Tuesday. Temperatures this afternoon were very, very nice. Low to mid 70s across the area, even close to 80 out towards the west. So definitely felt more like spring out there this afternoon. Temperatures have now fallen down into the 60s elsewhere, or pretty much everywhere. 63 in Nevada, 63 in Lamar, 61, one of the coolest spots up in Stockton. We're about 15 to 20 degrees warmer tonight than we were last night at this time. So we're definitely on the positive side as far as temperatures go. We're also starting to see the moisture increase too on those south winds. We're seeing dew points in the 40s. And as we go through time, those dew points are going to increase, and that's going to add to those rain chances. 65 right now in Joplin, south wind at 17, dew point at 41. And over here in Pittsburgh, we're looking at a south wind on the flagpole with a temperature of 64 degrees, and the dew point is 46, relative humidity of 51%. Now, those south winds are going to continue tonight with lows generally in the mid-50s. If you want to call these lows, these are normally our afternoon highs. Notice a front up to the north and west. That's going to move down through our area, but it's not really going to affect our temperatures all that much. We're still going to make it into the 70s in our area, 60s up towards the north and west. Then that front will sail through. We'll see temperatures dropping down into the 30s and 40s on Tuesday. And notice, here comes the rain again from the west. And as we go through Tuesday, that rain will start to move over our area with highs in the 40s and 50s. And then by Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, the rain really moves into our area with lows pretty much in the 40s. Rainfall amounts are going to be heaviest along and south of I-40, where several inches are going to be possible, lesser amounts to the north and to the west. And you combine that with cold air in place, it's going to be a raw, chilly week with those rainfall across the area. And you can see rain expected across most of the central plains, especially out towards the west on the west coast as well, with the atmospheric river going to be impacting California. Here in our local forecast, a great day tomorrow with temperatures in the mid-70s. Then the rain moves in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A break on Friday, but then more rain comes in on Saturday and Sunday, and even colder temperatures early next week. So a little bit of a roller coaster this week.
Yeah, just a little bit. And don't forget, we're springing forward this next Saturday.
That's right. Not too long, not too far away.
Yeah. Got to adjust those clocks. All right. Well, thank you, Sam. Firefighters in San Bernardino County, California, responded to a remote fire in the mountains Thursday. Aerial footage of the fiery scene shows the smoke and blaze rising above the trees in snowy mountains after a reported gas leak. Emergency crews say they used a snowcat vehicle to make their way to the inferno. Officials warned residents that the heavy snow could potentially impact their utilities, causing issues like this fire. Coming up, we'll take a look at some new technology that Ford is planning to use with some of their new vehicles. Ford could have a self-driving car that would let you sleep at the wheel in the near future. The car company launched an automated driving system branch to develop their hands-free driving further. Ford's existing system allows certain models to self-drive within highway lanes as long as the driver watches the road. Ford's goal is to progress the system further so drivers won't have to pay attention and possibly even take a nap during their commute. That self-driving car may be cool, but a recent survey shows some people are apprehensive of the technology. A survey by AAA found that 68% of drivers are afraid of self-driving cars. That's up from 55% of drivers in 2022. While that's just a 13% jump, it's the biggest increase seen by AAA since 2020. The automotive group says the findings suggest car makers need to do more to build public trust and knowledge about the tech. It's another recall coming from Tesla. This time the company is recalling more than 3,000 cars over loose bolt concerns. The National Highway Traffic Administration says loose bolts in the second row seating area can cause the seatbelts to fail in a crash. This creates a major risk for injuries to passengers. The affected vehicles include the 2022 and 2023 Model Y cars. Affected customers can go to Tesla, who will examine and tighten their bolts for free. Nissan Rogue drivers also need to be aware of an important factory recall just announced. The car maker is recalling more than 712,000 Rogue and Rogue Sport compact SUVs. The reason? They can be shut off accidentally while driving. The recall is made for Nissan Rogues between 2016 through 2020 and Rogue Sports made between 2017 through 2022. In the design, an internal joint can weaken the key that can weaken over time. This may allow the key to accidentally fold while in use. If it's bumped while in the ignition, the vehicle can accidentally be turned off. And up next, National Park Service issues some tips about what and what not to do if confronted by a bear. The National Park Service is using a little humor to warn people about bears. On social media last week, the agency offered a number of real tips about bear encounters. But they also said, quote, if you come across a bear, never push a slower friend down, even if you feel the friendship has run its course. One user then asked the agency what to do if they're just with an acquaintance. The Park Service replied that friendships don't just happen by chance. It takes effort and trust to build a lasting friendship. The service pointed out that as spring nears, bears will become more active as they come out of hibernation. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports are coming your way. Coming up, why students at an Arkansas high school planned and completed a walkout during school. Several Central High School students completed a walkout around 1 o'clock on Friday in an effort to push back against Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' highly talked about LEARN's bill. Earlier last week, students at Little Rock Central were said to have wrote to the governor. The students felt as though Governor Sanders was utilizing the historic school to advance her agenda. In response, students donned several signs at Friday's walkout. Despite pushback from the students at Little Rock Central, education leaders, and even fellow politicians, the governor has shared her continued excitement on the bill's progress. Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, has been accused of assaulting an Overland Park, Kansas restaurant owner. The alleged incident happened last Saturday night at Aspen's Restaurant and Lounge in Overland Park. Right now, there is a video of the incident circulating online. According to the owner, that video is in the hands of police, who are aware of the situation. Repairs are underway after a Union Pacific trail derailed in Sumner County, Kansas yesterday afternoon. Union Pacific's communication department said the derailment, which happened around 5:30 p.m. in Riverdale, an unincorporated town north of Wellington, Kansas, involved around 18 train cars filled with grain. There were no reported injuries and no hazardous materials involved. Cleanup efforts are expected to take several days. A second Norfolk Southern train has derailed near Springfield, Ohio over the weekend, a little over a month after another train derailed carrying toxic materials in East Palestine. But one Ohio senator says he is not yet satisfied with the company's latest response. Isabel Rosales has the latest.
This derailment, as all derailments, will be fully investigated and the findings will be turned over.
Dramatic video showing the moments a Norfolk Southern train derailed in Clark County, Ohio, Saturday. The crash prompted a temporary shelter-in-place order for those living 1,000 feet from the derailment. No injuries were reported.
There was like a loud slam noise, and that's when I started noticing all the debris and all the gravel.
20 of the 212 cars derailed, with 4 tankers containing non-hazardous materials, according to Springfield Township Fire Chief Dave Mangle. Crews from Norfolk Southern, the EPA, and a Clark County hazmat team examined the crash site Saturday night.
4 tankers identified with non-hazardous materials. 2 tankers contained residual amounts of diesel exhaust fluid, and the other 2 tankers contained residual amounts of polyacrylamide water solution.
Officials determined the derailment was not in an area with a protected water source and did not pose a risk to the public water system or private wells. Meanwhile, Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says while other state officials seem to be pretty satisfied with the company's response, he is not.
I'm not entirely satisfied because I want to know there are some sort of remnants of something that might have been in those cars. Those cars were mostly empty, but I want to know if there are any contaminants sort of left in those mostly empty cars.
The latest derailment in Ohio comes as crews are still working to clear the toxic wreck of another Norfolk Southern train in East Palestine, more than 200 miles away. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now.
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful day across the area. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures. No precipitation on radar tonight, but that's going to change in our forecast. Over the last 36 hours, we barely topped 60 yesterday, but today we had no problem getting into the mid-70s with lots of warm air across the region. Temperatures still pretty warm in the 60s, going to fall through the 50s down to around 55 by tomorrow morning. The winds are also going to be dying off a little bit tonight, generally out of the south at 25. But tomorrow, a front's going to be draping through the area, so our winds are going to turn around to the north, and wind speeds will be around 20 to 25 miles per hour. And by Monday evening, those winds will start to move across the entire area. We're going to have more clouds tomorrow, too, and then some rain's going to move in on Tuesday, and that continues all the way through the rest of the week. And then a colder weekend in store for us as well, and I'll tell you all about that in our forecast in just a little while.
Authorities say an anti-gun violence advocate in New Jersey is dead after a shooting involving the police. Officials are not releasing many details about the shooting, but they say it happened Friday afternoon in Patterson. The New Jersey Violence Intervention and Prevention Coalition identified the man killed as Najee Seabrooks. According to the group, Seabrooks was having a mental health crisis when he first encountered the police. Police have not said what led to the shooting or how many officers were involved. New details about a house party in Georgia that turned deadly. More than 100 teens were at a Sweet 16 party in Douglas County, a suburb of Atlanta, on Saturday night. Investigators say some partygoers got into a confrontation, and moments later, gunfire erupted. 2 people died and 6 people were hurt. So far, no one is in custody. A small Texas town is searching for answers after 3 children were stabbed to death at home. 2 more are injured. Officials are saying all of them were siblings in temporary protective custody. Nicole Nielsen has more.
A heartbreaking scene in Italy.
They're extremely sad to have to report on this.
Inside a home on the 300 block of Harris Street near Stafford Elementary School, police arrived around 4 o'clock to find 3 children stabbed to death. 2 other children inside were wounded and taken to nearby hospitals.
Right now, the most important thing are prayers for the family of those involved.
We spoke with one man who says he knows the family closely and is heartbroken this could have happened.
This is very shocking. This is very shocking. This is not normal for Italy. I'm just praying that that Italy will come together on this here.
A candlelight vigil formed nearby where members of the community and family both gathered to pray and grieve.
We're a close community. And just to be honest with you, we've never seen nothing like this here. Just hopefully that a lot of prayers will go up and that we as a community will come back together and start loving on each other and start checking on each other, going from house to house, just making sure everyone is all right.
Still ahead, robot dogs that are assisting with first responders and how they can save lives.
Well, friends, we have had a beautiful weekend across the area with lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, especially for March. Let's take a look outside right now at Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice night shaping up down there. And as I mentioned, we made it up to 75 degrees today, which was only 6 degrees away from the record. These are the kind of records we like setting this time of year. We started out at 47, which of course was way above the normals of 56 and 34 degrees. The rivers are starting to stay in their banks now. There is one river near Jenkins that is near flood stage, but as we go through time, we're going to be watching this closely because we are expecting quite a bit of rainfall across our area, but no rain tonight. Radar is all clear and is going to stay that way for a while. We have some high clouds spilling in from the west, and that's about it. But we have to watch this big storm system that's spiraling off the coast of Seattle and Portland this evening. That's going to take a dive to the south and east and arrive in our area as we go through Tuesday into Wednesday. Temperatures this afternoon were very, very pleasant. Generally low to mid 70s in our area and to the east. Upper 70s out towards the west, where they got almost close to 80 degrees in places like Sedan and in Howard. Temperatures right now have fallen down into the 60s, but still for this time of night, this is very, very nice and pleasant. And temperatures are generally around 15 to 20 degrees warmer tonight than they were last night at this time. Look at that, Parsons, 23 degrees warmer tonight than they were 24 hours ago. Dew points are on the increase as well, generally in the lower 40s off to the east, upper 30s in Anderson and Neosho, but mid 40s out towards the west. So the moisture is going to be deepening as we go through the day tomorrow with those south winds. Right now it's 65 degrees, south wind at 17. The dew point is 41 and the humidity 42%. And in Joplin you can see, or Pittsburgh, you can see the flag flying there on the flagpole. 64 degrees, south wind at 14, gusting to 22. Humidity is at 51% because the dew point is 46. Now those south winds are going to continue tonight with lows generally in the 50s. This is where normally highs would be this time of year. But notice there is a front up to the north and west. That's going to move through our area through the day tomorrow. Temperatures are still going to make it into the 70s though with increased cloudiness. Then as we move into Tuesday morning, we'll start to see some showers developing and mainly out towards the west with lows in the 30s and 40s with easterly winds. Then as we go through the day on Tuesday, we'll see those easterly winds continuing with highs in the 40s up to the north and west, 50s elsewhere, and then the rain will start to move over across the entire area Tuesday night into Wednesday with lows in the 40s. Rainfall amounts are going to be highest along and south of I-44, where you can see that rainfall totals are going to be in the inches down to the south, lesser amounts up towards the north and west, but we definitely need some more rainfall, especially in southeastern Kansas. Then we're looking at a cold wave moving in across most of the country, including our area, as we go through the extended forecast. All right, here's your forecast for the next 7 days. 73 tomorrow, rain moves in on Tuesday. That continues right on through Thursday. A break on Friday before more rain turns or comes back in on the weekend with maybe a mixture, and then remaining chilly next week. So winter is just not going to go away that easily. You knew it couldn't last, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get, and
we'll take it when we can
put
get
in
it.
a little time for being warm. It's time to put in a little
That's
time for
right.
being cold. But yeah.
right.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam. Check this out. A snowman in Michigan is a snow baby. A winter storm blanketing the Detroit area Friday night. The National Weather Service estimating snow totals reaching over 10 inches in some areas. Some creative snow builders taking advantage of the weather and constructing this snow child, who does not seem to be happy outside at all. Coming up in sports, Sports Director Jacob Leonard is in Kansas City as the Missouri Southern women aim to win the MIAA title. We'll have those highlights. Tonight is a big night for the Missouri Southern women's basketball team. The Lions have a chance to bring home the MIAA tournament title in Kansas City. Sports Director Jacob Leonard is there and has more on tonight's game.
The Missouri Southern women hit the floor here in Kansas City in the MIAA Tournament Championship. Now, the Lions face Central Missouri tonight for the tournament title. Amoso trying to finish the job this year after finishing as tournament runner-up last season. And Southern looking for a spark early. Haley Grant hits the three from the corner. But final seconds of the first, Sierra Smith steals and heads the other way. UCM leads Southern by 8 after 1. Now in the second, Lacey Stokes drives by Smith and scoops it in. She scores 15. Then Chrislyn Jones, top of the key. She also gets 15 points tonight. Southern takes a 4-point lead at half. Now late third, Lane Skiles drives and gets the tough reverse. Southern holds a 6-point lead going to the fourth. Team high 20 points tonight for Skiles. Now early fourth, Amaya Johns hits the straightaway three. The Lions never let Central back in it. Southern beats Central Missouri 78-63. and they cut down the nets here in Kansas City, earning the MIAA Tournament Championship.
I had the memory of last year and how bad I wanted it, and this year I knew I wasn't going to leave without the trophy this time, so I had a little more in me today.
I can't say enough about these kids. For 3 straight days, they competed for 40 minutes, every possession, both offensively and defensively, and just did a tremendous job.
I'm just so proud of our team because I think you want to be playing your best basketball in March, and I think as soon as March 1 hit, I think a switch flipped for us and our team, and all week we've just emphasized being together, and just doing this together as a team is just one of the feelings that I've never had before.
Missouri Southern now moves on to play in the Division II National Tournament. Reporting in Kansas City, Jacob Leonard, KOAM Sports.
Missouri Southern heads into the national tournament with a 27-6 overall record. Coming up, ChatGPT continues to grow in popularity. We'll learn about Apple's plan of action on handling apps with that feature. A dog is man's best friend, perhaps now more than ever, thanks to some amazing new technology. That's right, we're talking about robot dogs, all-weather ground drones built to assist first responders. Fox's Corey McFerrin shows up what the latest iteration from Ghost Robotics can do.
If you'll watch as he approaches, you're going to notice that he kind of adjusts his gait and his stance to adjust his center of gravity, and up he goes.
This dog can go places where humans just can't, at least not easily, and not without danger. Think explosive detection or disasters where the terrain is treacherous.
In a disaster situation where you have rubble, the dog is able to navigate that uneven terrain much better than a human.
These dogs can be equipped with HD cameras, thermal imaging, and infrared capabilities. And in the case of tracking down drugs like fentanyl, well, this dog can hunt. Built-in detectors can yield major pay dirt.
By equipping the dog with that sensor and the gripper arm, we can send, or the public safety agency can send this dog in to locate and remove suspected fentanyl with absolutely no risk to a human being.
Fluffy, as his handler from AT&T calls him, weighs 117 pounds, and if he ever falls over, which is rare, he'll pop right back up. Water hazards, sub-zero weather, no problem. And you don't have to be anywhere near Fluffy to direct him.
We could give you the controller. We could have the dog here in Dallas. You could operate it remotely using the FirstNet network, and you could actually conduct that search and recovery from, several states away.
Apple is delaying updates to an email app with AI-powered tools. The new update for Blue Mail includes OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot. The AI is meant to help users write emails by using previous messages and calendar events. But Apple believes that feature could expose users to inappropriate content. Apple's app review team suggests the update should contain an age restriction of 17 or older. Blue Mail says Apple's restriction makes it harder for them to bring innovation to its users. Up next, we'll hear from 2 paddleboarders in Hawaii about their experience with a tiger shark. 2 paddleboarders were enjoying the water out in Hawaii when they came face to face with a 15-foot shark. As Chelsea Davis reports, they're both glad they lived to tell the tale.
Just floating, enjoying the best of what Maui has to offer, and all of a sudden saw this large shape approaching.
I thought like giant manta ray, baby whale, and obviously as I got closer it became very clear that it was like this massive shark, and I just felt like adrenaline like rushing through my body.
Friends Patrick Wardle and Megan Valentine were out paddleboarding in Kihei around noon on February 19th when they came face to face with a 15-foot tiger shark.
Took the paddle, put it on its nose. I've heard you really try to engage with them and deflect them. The paddleboard got like a boost forward because of just the strength of this animal. I just remember feeling the muscle and the strength.
The shark just kept coming.
And it lunged out of the water and took about 2 feet of the paddle in its mouth, chomped down, snapped it in half. And this is a carbon fiber brand new paddleboard paddle, so at this point I was like,
it was terrifying.
Yeah.
That wasn't all. They say the shark came back a 3rd time.
15-foot shark is chomped on the back of the paddleboard, kind of shaking it. I remember its eye just looking at me and kind of just like, okay, this is game time.
The shark broke the paddle and punctured the paddleboard, but the people on the board managed to escape
unharmed. These two friends finally made it back to shore unscathed. They now have a new appreciation for life and sharks.
I don't also want this story to scare people. Definitely something to be aware of. Like, we're definitely always guests in the ocean, but it's such a, just extraordinary place. And even that experience with the shark, there was something so beautiful about it. Like, it's this magnificent creature and like totally terrifying, but I respect it.
And after that scary encounter, the two are already back in the ocean.
I think I'm going to stick to swimming pools.
Yeah, I mean, that's something straight out of a movie. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. We are going to have a great day tomorrow. Temperatures in the 70s once again. Then the rain comes back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then maybe some more showers and maybe a mixture as we head towards next weekend. And then cooler after that. So looks like it's going to be an interesting week up and down as far as temperatures go, as well as precipitation.
Yeah, well, we'll strap in. We'll be ready for it.
We'll be ready.
All righty. Well, that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of two baby pandas at a Berlin zoo. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.